Hey, welcome to Mineral Talks Live, the weekly live webinar that brings you in-depth and in-person interviews with the mineral people from around the world. Mineral Talks Live is brought to you by a joint effort among the Mineralogical and Geological Museum at Harvard University, the Society of Mineral Museum Professionals, and Blue Cap Productions. Tune in every Wednesday and stay connected to your mineral world. Now, broadcasting live from beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii, the land of aloha, ukuleles, and shakas, this is Mineral Talks Live. Hello and happy Wednesday to you all. Today is March 24th, 2021, and we'd like to welcome you to episode 40 of Mineral Talks Live. That's right. We just hit the big 4-0. Not quite 5-0 like Hawaii 5-0, but we're getting there. For those of you new to the show, Mineral Talks Live is the weekly mineral talk show broadcasting to you live every Wednesday. I'm Brian Swoboda, the president of Blue Cap Productions, and together with my extraordinary partners, Dr. Raquel Alonso Perez from the Mineralogical and Geological Museum at Harvard University, and Dr. Eloise Gaillou from the Society of Mineral Museum Professionals, also known as the SMMP, we welcome you to the show. Our goal in producing this program has been always to bring together the different facets of our mineral world, from curators and curatrix to collectors, dealers, miners, researchers, artists, and the media that serves us all. We hope that in doing so, we form a tighter bond among all of us and foster a deeper understanding of the work that everybody does in our community. Raquel and Eloise and I try our best to bring a wide range of guests from all over the world onto the show. And by doing so, we feel the show reflects the true global nature of our mineral world. That includes you, dear viewer at home. You too are part of the show, and it's your participation in the show that helps to make it what it is. To that point, this isn't just a live broadcast. It's an interactive live broadcast. So come on, play with us. Let's have some fun. How can you play? Well, that's a great question. There are actually two ways. At the bottom of your screen, you'll see a series of buttons. There's one button labeled Chat and another labeled Q&A. The chat feature allows you to type messages to everyone watching and participating in the show. So when you first sign on, feel free to fire off a chat message to everyone telling us where in the world you're tuning in from. Now, the fifth person tuning in from somewhere starting with either a K or a V wins for today. More importantly than winning, if you have thoughts about and comments about what you're seeing in the show, this chat area is where you can share those thoughts with others. During the interview, both Raquel and Eloise will be very active in those chats, so look for their comments and links along with everyone else's. When they feel it's appropriate, either Raquel or Eloise may turn on their mics and address us directly with questions that you're asking, so we can get an immediate answer from our guest while we're still discussing the topic. Now, the second way to interact is with the Q&A function. This function allows you to submit general questions that we'll try to answer at the end of the interview. Finally, at about 40 minutes into the program, you may see a window pop up on your screen asking a bunch of questions for our weekly poll. This is one of our favorite parts of the show, as it allows us to learn small, random, and oftentimes interesting little facts about our guests. In the end, the show isn't only about minerals, it's about the people too, just like our hobby. And with that out of the way, let's get on with our show. On today's show, we're headed out to the great state of Texas. We're setting our focus on Dallas, and specifically, we're going to go visit one of the newest and finest mineral museums in the state, the Perot Museum of Nature and Science. This is an incredible museum that should be on everyone's must-visit list when you're visiting Dallas. Spend the whole day there, but if you like minerals at all, make sure that you visit the Lyda Hill Gems and Mineral Hall. Now, right now, standing outside the entrance to the hall itself is our great friend and awesome travel companion, Kimberly Vager, the director of the Gems and Mineral Center of Excellence at the Perot Museum. Kim, welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone.
How are you doing, Kim?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm getting to hang out in the hall today, so.
Awesome. Well, I love the little pyrite thought bubbles that are coming out from behind your head.
All right, spray.
Now, Kim, I always like to turn back the clock on our guests. You're now the director of the Gems and Minerals Center of Excellence. That's a mouthful, but I'll get there. Yeah. At the Perot Museum of Nature and Science. But before we get into your role at the Perot Museum, tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of what led you there. Let's start with how minerals first entered your life.
So I'm actually a gemologist. I have my graduate gemologist certificate from the Gemological Institute of America. But I would say gems and minerals have always played a role in my life for a very long time. And I have my mom to thank for that one, because like even as a kid, we would go like panning for gems in the Carolinas. And I think there's some pictures of this on the screen from like the 80s of my mom and I at one of these locations panning for different gemstones. And the cool thing is that we actually still have some of those gems. So
now, Kim, I have up on my screen a picture of you and your mother panning for minerals. I love this.
Yes, it's pretty awesome. I mean, for the fashion, the Cabbage Patch sweatshirt and the bowl cut, but also, as I said, that we still actually have some of those pieces that we found.
And my understanding is you no longer have the Cabbage Patch Kids t-shirt. Is that correct?
I don't. I gave that up. I can't believe it. Oh, man, shame on me for giving that one up.
Really? That would have been a true collector's item.
It really would be. It really would be.
So you started your passion with minerals very early, at this very young age, panning for minerals, if you will.
Yes. But fast forwarding a couple of years, so I was in college in DC, and my major at the time was international affairs, but I realized pretty early on that I didn't want to go into politics. And I was in a jewelry store one summer, and I was looking at some of the pieces, and I was like, I wonder how you do this. Like, how do you study gems? Like, how do you get into this? And so I asked a bunch of people, and they all told me, well, you should go to the Gemological Institute of America, you should get your GG, but before you do, finish your 4-year degree. So I did that, but since I was in DC, I was able to volunteer in the mineral sciences department at the Smithsonian. So that's where I credit kind of getting my start, was just being able to I was helping to catalog and categorize their slide collection, which was really cool because I got to see pretty much everything that they have. And it made me realize that I did really want to go into gems and minerals. And once I did graduate, I ended up moving out to San Diego, and GIA, their headquarters is in Carlsbad, California. Mm-hmm. So I ended up getting a job for them, and I did the educational courses at the same time. And I ended up staying with them for about 8 years. And when I started, I was working with the in-kind donations that were coming into the Institute. So that's all like the gems, the minerals, the jewelry, books that were donated. But my job kind of morphed over time. And so by the end, I was working very closely under the curator there. And then I realized, you know what, I think I want to get my master's degree. So, and I wanted to get it actually in jewelry history, which is considered a decorative art form. So I applied and got into a program through Parsons, which was in New York, and operated out of the Cooper Hewitt Museum.
Ah, okay.
The Cooper Hewitt is part of the Smithsonian, even though it's located in New York. So while there, I got a fellowship in their museum education department, which was a lot of fun. They had like a Van Cleef and Arpels exhibit that came through while I was there, and I got to write the informational packets for the docents, and I got to give tours of the exhibit, which was so much fun. And I graduated, and I lived in New York for a couple more years, and I worked for a variety of companies. I was the archives manager for David Webb, and I worked for Goldsmith, named Donna DiStefano for a little while. And then I finished up, I was working for the Sabarite Factory, which is a gem and jewelry wholesaler. But at that point, I kind of realized, I'm really missing the museum world. And this opportunity and position came up at the Perot Museum, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go for it. And I got the job, and I moved here in 2018.
Oh, wow. Because I was trying to figure out where that design background came in, because I knew that you went to Parsons, and I thought that might have preceded your career in the gem and mineral jewelry world, but it sounds like it was a part of it.
Together, yeah, it's all kind of woven together into one.
And what about, now you say that you had a minor in art history. Ironically, I did too. Tell us about that.
Well, that that was during my days in college. I went to George Washington University, and so I just loved art and art history, and obviously I love jewelry and jewelry history. So all of that kind of melds together for me, and that's just part of my background. And I also minored in earth sciences, so yeah, I kind of love it all.
Wow. So your position right now is basically built for you. I mean, this is perfect for you.
In a sense, yes, it definitely is, because it combines all of this.
Yeah. That's awesome. So now you're at the Perot. Tell us a little bit about the Perot itself, kind of the history and the concept behind the creation of the museum, because it's a little bit of a different museum. It's setting sort of a new standard that I've seen kind of followed a little bit, like at the Peabody Museum.
Right.
But it's setting a new precedent for mineral museums. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the thing to understand about the Perot Museum, the museum opened its doors in 2012. However, the institutional history goes back a little bit further than that, because the museum is actually the combination of 3 other museums that had existed prior in Dallas. So you have and the oldest is the Dallas Natural History Museum, which opened its doors in like 1936. But then there was also a science place and a children's museum. And all 3 of those institutions had merged by 2006. And that became the basis for the Perot Museum. So our collections date back further. And we actually do have a very small gem and mineral collection, but it's not really of display caliber, I would say. And so when the Perot Museum was being built in 2012, they had put together these different task force for the different departments. And for gems and minerals, those on the task force were talking about this, and to build, a display collection, that takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of money. And instead of kind of fighting upstream on that, they were like, okay, why don't we, think creatively and out of the box? And on top of that, Dallas has this incredible mineral collecting community. And actually, some of those people were on the task force. So this idea came about of a loan model. So as we're going through the museum, or through my hall, what you're going to see is pretty much everything on display is on loan to us. We don't own it. And the idea behind that is that you can showcase, the best of the best, these amazing specimens, and also rotate them on a regular basis.
Absolutely.
So that's what we started with in 2012, and what I was hired to continue to build on in 2018, and really switching things out on a regular basis.
Now, how regular is that basis? And I love this idea of the loan, kind of the loan concept, because people come to a museum and they see incredible things, and if they spend all day there, then it may take a while for them to come back. But if the displays are constantly changing, then it's easy for them to buy a membership and make it a bi-monthly or a monthly activity that they come back and check out the museum. So how often do the minerals rotate?
So what we're trying for is, and I will say that the pandemic has kind of put a brake on that a little bit,
Sure.
but we're hoping we're past that, we're going to get back into this again, is switching out at least, a third of the hall every 6 months.
Wow, that's ambitious.
Kind of what I was building towards and working towards when I was hired in 2018, and we renovated the hall in 2019. And so then we were on that path last year, and then got kind of, as I said, the brakes got pushed down because of the pandemic. But I'm really hopeful that starting in the fall, we'll be able to get that going again and switching things out on a regular basis. And also, that doesn't mean too that from time to time we get really cool individual specimens in. Like, we'll start off with some of those, and that happens just on a regular basis, like those kind of individual change outs.
Fantastic. That is an incredibly ambitious plan every 6 months. I love that, though. I think you're going to be constantly busy. Yeah, right on. It'll be like, so Kim, what do you do in your spare time? Ha, 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 ha. Kim, I'm going to bring up a photo of the exterior of the Perot building there. Is there anything that you can say a little bit about the architecture? I mean, it's quite iconic right off the highway there.
It's designed by Tom Main, an architect. I think he's based out of LA. And the idea behind the outside was it's supposed to kind of represent like geologic strata. So that's where that like concrete is kind of moving, and you know, that's what it's supposed to be, is my understanding. So it's a pretty iconic and building in Dallas. You can't miss it. You're like, there it is.
Absolutely. There's the Borg mothership.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is coming up that escalator that you see right there.
Yeah.
And you can actually, oh look, you can actually see people on there. But coming up that escalator, and am I remembering correctly? There's some like, there it is. Some T-Rex like up at the top of the escalator to greet you as you come in. I love that.
Yeah, kids love that, riding up the escalator, and then it looks like you're going to be attacked by a T-Rex.
Oh, it's so exciting. So, Kim, now that we've learned a little bit about the Pro and your background, why don't we go wander around, kind of take a look at the museum?
All right.
And shout out to camera person extraordinaire, Monique.
Yes. Helping me today. All right. So we're going to start off with our, as I was saying a little bit earlier, this is actually our latest installation, and it's a gold display. So these are two of the world's largest gold specimens. And we'll start off on the right-hand side. This is the Osrox gold nugget. And this weighs 748 troy ounces, which is about 51.3 pounds. And it's basically the size of a basketball.
Oh, I love that you have it on a rotating platform there.
We just installed this last week. I am so loving it.
No, I mean, that is 100% the way to exhibit this. And to put it in motion, it becomes dynamic and alive, and this piece really deserves that. That's wonderful.
Oh my God, I love it. I was telling our exhibits head that I was like, I want all of the minerals on rotating platforms now. And he was like, no, we're not doing that. But I was like, it's so amazing to be able to see all sides of it. You know, it's just so dynamic. I love it.
And you know that not all pieces exhibit well 360, but this one absolutely does. You know, your museum is very interactive also. You have iPads at the bottom of every exhibit where people can tap and they can learn more about the specimens.
We do.
Maybe in the future you're going to have a control where people can control which way this rotates.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. The guy who designed it would love it if I gave him that task.
Oh, well, here's the challenge. Tell them that they have to mount it so that people can rotate it in three-dimensional space. So not just on a platform, but also end over foot.
Okay, I'll tell him.
Tell them that was Brian Swoboda's idea. That's Brian with a Y.
That's Brian. So this piece was discovered in 2010 in Western Australia. And it was like 3 dudes in a field with a metal detector and a small tractor. And so it was just like a couple feet below the surface. I mean, it's just incredible to think about.
I absolutely love those stories.
I know. I wish I could go out into like my backyard and find a giant gold specimen.
You can. You just have to dig really, really deep.
Yeah, or not in Texas.
Yeah, true.
All right, so we're going to move on to the second gold piece. This is the Dragon's Lair.
Now, this is incredible. This was just exhibited at the 2020 Tucson TGMS show, and I love the fact that you have it now.
Yeah, so I realized, though, I think it was exhibited in 2019, too, because it was the giant boulder at this point, and I should back that up a little bit, where this piece was discovered in a working nickel mine. So it was, 500 meters deep, where it was a gold vein, and a hard rock source. And so they had to break it up and bring it to the surface. And so this is the second largest piece that came out of that find in 2018. But what I like to show to our visitors, because I think a lot of them, when they come in, they look at this and they go, oh, it just kind of came out of the ground like this, right? And you just kind of like washed it off.
Not quite.
But is explaining, and we show on our touchscreen too, is the actual rock of what it looked like when it came out of the ground.
Okay, now I've pulled up on my screen a picture of what it originally looked like when it came out.
Right. I mean, and understanding that hundreds of hours of work had to be done to get to what you see in this case. And this was done by technicians at the collector's edge. I mean, you start off with like end sizing work with steel-tipped styluses, which I found out, fun fact, our paleo preparators use on our Alaskan fossils here.
Nice.
But you start off with the end sizing, that gets like the larger pieces of quartz off. Then it would go into hydrofluoric acid bath to get like the harder to reach quartz. Come out, you have to do like a ammonium hydroxide bath to neutralize it. It would also need to go through an iron removal treatment because there were other minerals in there besides quartz, like pyrite, so that would turn the matrix brown. And this was all done a couple of times. So when it was on display in 2020, it actually looks a little bit different from the Tucson show in 2020 because they did more work on it.
Yeah. Kim, let me go ahead and roll the video that I have of the work being done on a little bit. We don't need to hear all that. Let me roll that again. So what are they doing here? Maybe you could tell us.
That's the end sizing. So that's what's being done with those those air scribes, is removing like the larger pieces of quartz.
That's a product of love.
Yeah, and what we've done is along the bottom of the case, we've actually just put a tiny bit of, this is just a small portion of what came off of the dragon's lair.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Monique was filming that a little bit earlier, and it's just, that's wonderful.
That's what that is just a tiny, tiny little fraction of what came off.
And that's the part that's usually thrown away. So, if you want, you can scrape that all off, just toss it in a box and send it over here.
You're going to have to get in line because there's like a lot of people who've asked me that.
Yeah, but I know the director who works there, so maybe she can cut me in the front of the line.
Yeah. And I should say it gets its name, the Dragon's Lair, because off of the top it looks like a dragon head kind of emerging from its lair.
Yeah.
And although it was originally nicknamed Warren after one of the miners that found the piece, or found the vein.
And my understanding is that dragon looks nothing like Warren, so they went for Dragon's Lair name. That's a spectacular piece. I mean, I'm dying to get back to Dallas just to put my eyes on that again. We filmed that for What's Hot in Tucson 2020 when it was first exhibited, and just a stunning piece.
It is. We love having it. And actually, a fun thing that we point out to the kids too is, I don't know if you can show it, Monique, but there's actually a little bunny rabbit on the side.
Oh, that's lunch.
The kids love that.
Now, Kim, are you taking the peyote when you go and look for animals in the dragon's lair there?
Oh, you know it.
I mean, you are well known for that, so I'm just saying.
No. Don't tell anyone.
Spreading rumors.
And I don't have a job tomorrow. Thanks, Brian.
But it was good while it lasted.
It was.
All right, let's see some cool minerals.
Okay, so now we're going to move on. This is our special exhibit right now called Nature's Art. It's called China.
I'm sorry, say that again. I couldn't hear you.
So this is, as the name implies, it's all minerals from China.
Okay.
And the idea behind this is that rocks and stone carvings have a long history of being collected in China for their philosophical and the spiritual inspiration that was drawn from the artistic beauty of the stones. Minerals have been used obviously for industrial purposes, but in terms of like collecting them for their aesthetic beauty and the scientific characteristics, which is very common in Europe and the US and has a long history. In China, that's relatively new, dating back to the mid-'80s when things started to change and specimens from China started entering the market and international collectors were taken with them. And then China, within China itself, they started collecting and preserving minerals. So
Great.
That's the basis of this display. But we start off looking, the very first case is just looking at the traditional stone culture.
Hey, Kim, before we go too far into that, I know there was a poem that was up on that big exhibit, and I've got it up on my screen. Can we get Monique to read that in her best voice of God voice?
Sure. Give us just a second for it to appear on. Oh, there we go.
Okay. The river that does not have stone will not be clear. The garden that does not have stone.
We need a little bit more timbre there. The river that does not. Come on, like God would say.
The room that does not have stone will not be elegant, and the person that does not have stone will not be eminent.
Excellent, excellent. That's beautiful. And where is that poem from?
Oh, that's a good question.
Sorry, I inadvertently put you on the spot. It's an ancient Chinese poem, and it's written there in the Chinese language. I don't know. Okay, sorry, go on.
Oh, all right, sorry. So this first case that we're looking at, this is traditional stone culture. So this is we have like a nephrite carving of a carp turning into a dragon. From the
Wait, hang on for a sec. We lost the video.
Okay, just a sec.
We see Kim's smiling face. Oh, there we go. Oh, no, that's me. That's not Kim.
Here we go.
There we go.
I think this part. So I want to. Maybe we can just unplug it at this point. Okay. It should last if it doesn't. Sorry, a little technical difficulty there.
That's live shows for you.
Exactly. So again, what we're looking at here, this is a nephrite carving. So it's a carp turning into a dragon, which is a well-known story in Chinese mythology. And this is from the Qin dynasty and believed to be late 19th, early 20th century.
I love it.
Yes. And then the other two pieces that we have on display in this case are more modern. So this is a metal and wood dragon with a malachite belly.
That is spectacular.
As well as a carving of a dragon in cinnabar.
Wow.
Yeah. And, cinnabar obviously is toxic, but it has a long history of being used in art for sculpture and carvings and, and the pigment that's used in ceramics and printed art. And in some instances, it's still used today because this is actually a modern piece. Dr. Rob Levinsky, he got it in a gift store that was, close to where the tomb of the first emperor is in China.
Wow.
In Xi'an. Yeah.
Now, we talked about interactivity. Can you show us just very briefly how the iPad works there?
So, yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, not iPad, but it's a touch screen.
Touchscreen. And then it shows you, the name of the piece, who lent it. For minerals, it goes into the crystal system and the composition, locality where it comes from. And then we're able to also add some notes to it as well. And we do have it might make more sense to show one at the minerals because then you can see.
Okay.
We have a map of where the piece was found.
You know, and this is what I love. You have this at every single one of those display
We're
alcoves.
able to do it in multiple languages too. So for the touchscreen, for this special exhibit, we have it in English and Spanish and Mandarin.
Great, great.
Yeah, pretty cool. So this case is all recent finds from Bronze Age mining sites. So the mines are thousands of years old. And the pieces that we're looking at are all, well, this is a piece of copper and copper-based minerals. So azurite, malachite. We have the cute little happy feet stalactite slices, which are azurite and malachite.
Yeah, we've seen those. Those are great.
I know, they just make me smile.
Absolutely.
I always smile. Which we can use.
I believe those are still owned by Rob Levinsky.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. And then the unassuming little piece at the bottom is really cool because that's actually ancient slag from the Tonglin Shan mine, which I think translates into green copper mountain.
Wow.
But that's a Bronze Age. This mine was producing copper for like all of southern China during the Bronze Age. And this piece of slag is that old.
That is cool.
Yeah,
Let me ask you that the malachite falcon that you have there, is that from Malta? Is that a Maltese falcon?
Oh, if only. No, remember, these are all Chinese minerals.
Oh, so. Right. Sorry.
The next case, these are all minerals from found recently and from modern mines.
Mm.
So,
great pyromorphite up there.
Cinnabar, which is the same as the dragon carving, the red dragon carving in the first case. Arsenopyrite. Little baby stibnite.
That's a great piece. I love the contrast on the matrix.
Yeah, and we're going to see the supersized stibnite soon in a second. So,
but of course,
the chalcopyrite, blueberries, siderite, stibnite, cyanotrichite.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Right. Then we have the hematite-coated quartz and fluorite.
I love that. That is spectacular.
Yeah. No, that's like, I think it's nicknamed the bubble gum.
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt it.
Right.
Now, how many people do you have coming through the Gem and Mineral Hall on a, let's say, annual basis?
Okay, well, we don't count per hall, but coming into the museum prior to the pandemic, we had close to, I want to say 900,000 coming to visit us. And that didn't include the school groups. So I think with the school groups, we were at over 1 million coming in.
That is wonderful.
Again, for everybody, it's the same thing. The pandemic has, changed all of that. But that was where we were at prior.
And I know that you have a whole army of docents who volunteer at the museum in the Gem and Mineral Hall. How many docents do you normally have, on a typical day, that are just hanging around, offering information, answering questions, interacting with the visitors?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, it does vary day to day. And again, I keep saying this, but the pandemic has kind of changed all of this. But prior, I feel like we had at least 1 or 2 per floor.
Wow.
That we're working daily. And that's the other cool thing about this loan model is that a lot of our lenders are active in the museum in a variety of ways. And one of those ways is being a docent. Some of our lenders are docents in the hall too, which is amazing for our visitors because they get to talk to the people who own these specimens.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that is such an incredible opportunity, and it actually it connects people in a way that you just can't have by any kind of exhibit. To actually be able to meet the owner and talk to the owner and get the story behind why they found it attractive, what they had to do to get it, it's priceless.
It really is. It really is. I mean, the lenders tell us everything, and I pass that on to the staff. But there is just something very unique about getting to talk to the person who owns it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so when I was talking about the supersized stibnite, this is the supersized.
Yeah.
Yeah, this piece is amazing.
This is.
And discovered in 2002, I believe, at the Wuling mine. So that was a working antimony mine, and they hit this pocket and luckily decided to stop and preserve it. Had experts come in who were able to excavate the entire pocket and save these specimens. This is one of them.
Simply incredible.
I know.
Kim, what do you imagine was the sound that that piece made when it came out of the ground? Was it like a wah or like deeper?
I don't know, maybe with like a halo of light around it. I have no idea.
Halo of light yet silent. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and it's fun talking to visitors about this piece too, because they come in and they're like, "Oh, Game of Thrones." And
do you then say you know nothing?
Well, we start to have a conversation because a lot of them look at this piece and they go, "Oh, it must be really hard because it's metallic, right?"
Nice.
And then we start to get into the conversation about the Mohs hardness scale, and that stibnite is relatively soft. It's like a 2, and our fingernail is like a 2, 2.5. So that this is actually a fairly fragile piece. You have to be very careful with it, and it's also very heavy. So getting it in was was a whole story and an amazing feat that we got it in. And we had to basically remove the entire facade of the display, bring it in on like a pallet jack, lift it, like get the pallet jack level with the case. And then it took 4 people to get it in safely. And fun little fact is, like, if you look around the sides, you'll see the furniture moving pads that we couldn't get out afterwards. They're in there still, but it's an incredible.
Can you just stand next to it so we can have a look at like the size, because it's so huge, Well, yeah, okay.
No. Stand in front of it so it's like a halo over your head.
It's like Game of Thrones.
Nice.
She is the mother of dragons. I love that a piece like that can evoke comparisons to pop culture and draw people in, and then it sparks the conversation that you were describing about the hardness of it. That's wonderful.
It's wonderful. I love it. And I love like connecting with people on that level, of like, okay, like here's where you're coming in. Oh, we can have now this like larger conversation. So
Totally.
I love talking to visitors.
Kim, just to let you know, Anna called you the mother of stibnite. I think that's the perfect name for you.
That's my new title. I'll put it on the business card with the Gems and Minerals Director of the Center.
Yep.
We'll do a screen capture. That'll be your new profile on Facebook.
Exactly.
Hey, Kim, we're going to go ahead and launch the poll. I don't want you to get worried about it because everybody's used to going over our 1-hour allotment time. So it may pop up on your screen. Just go ahead and close that window and go ahead and move to the next case. I think Monique fell down. Oh, no, she's back.
Oh, there
okay.
we go. Yeah, we were trying
sorry.
to figure out how to get out of the poll.
All right, good.
So now these are all small treasures. And this is still part of the Nature's Art exhibit. So these are all Chinese minerals as well. We've got, and then this is a beautiful mixture. I think we're looking at the hemimorphite right now, the blue in the center.
Mm-hmm.
And all kinds of what is it, fluorites and calcite, wolframites and fluorites, calcites. Those are all the fluorite. Calcite and stibnite.
I love that. Those are great. How the stibnite is just intergrown into the calcite.
Yeah.
And so someone left a shoehorn in the display case there, it looks like.
If you can just say the names of the minerals maybe and the color associated with them, like the
Yeah.
green pyromorphite and
Yeah, we've got the, so on the left is the green pyromorphite, and then kind of the white in the back is the quartz. And then what else are we looking at here? What have we got in the frame? There's copper, right. See what else we've got. White is the barite. Oops. The blue specimen is hemimorphite.
So Kim, how many pieces do you currently have on exhibit, and what's the average?
How many pieces do we have on exhibit? I think we were close to about 200.
Wow.
On exhibit. And it just depends. You know, sometimes I think it kind of always at the, let's see, we're back down with the fluorides again. It just really depends, like, but it kind of always hovers around there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I imagine based on different themes, you have bigger or smaller exhibits or pieces, so you would have more or fewer pieces in every display case.
Exactly. It's like when we put the gold display in, you know, what was in there before was like a birthstone display. So there were more pieces in there than obviously, because gold is really big. So less. This is calcite coated with pyrite.
Oh, those are classic. Yeah, those are great. I love the thin blades there.
And these are all like gem species, you could say, as a theme, because we've got like turquoise.
I can't imagine people who are unfamiliar with minerals coming in there and not having their jaw hit the ground.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And there's also, I mean, the way it's displayed and the lighting. I mean, so there's so much that goes into these. Those are diamonds. An emerald, aquamarine. Silver. And these are all best of specific species from China.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at the beautiful Wutong princess in the center, the rhodochrosite from the spans, yellow and gem, gorgeous piece. And also, what are we? Oh, we're getting the chalcotricite in there too, and the wolfenite up at the top. Kesterite. Hard to show that one. It's getting a little.
Yeah, it's a little blown out.
So you guys just have to come and see them in person. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
No, in my introduction, I told people this has got to be a must visit item on your travel list when you come to Dallas, and you could see that you could spend all day there. You're just in one part of the museum so far.
The yellow specimen is stellarite. That piece.
Oh, look at you multitasking.
Yeah, every once in a while I can kind of see the questions. I'm probably missing some of them too. Now these two specimens, so we're zooming in and out on the malachite.
I love the chatoyancy on that, how it creates those kind of auras of light that,
Yeah.
and as you move around, we may not be able to capture it on the camera, but as you move around, those auras kind of follow you also. It's an exceptional specimen.
We do. Incredible. And this is the pyrite concretion.
Otherwise known as Chinaman's hat.
Or a spaceship. It kind of reminds me of a spaceship.
Kind of like a pie.
So many different things.
Yeah, let the imagination go.
Oh yeah, I was going to show on the touchscreens too is that for the minerals, we also have a feature where you can show the map. You can kind of show, oh my goodness, I don't think that's right. Of course it's not. Here we go.
Oh, there, that's great. And is that map, is it dynamic? Can you zoom in and out?
I wish it was. We're working on that to make
Okay.
it so that we can zoom in and out. But for now, it's static. But at least it gives you an idea, because I know for a lot of us, like when you walk in, sometimes you hear places, but you're like, I'm not quite sure exactly where that is. So
Sure.
at least it helps kind of guide you.
Yeah, that's a wonderful thing, just so that people can get some kind of orientation and figure out where in the world they are in related to where it came from.
And now this is the last case. This is kind of the nature's art of nature's art. So you've got hemimorphite cloud shape and a aragonite tree, calcite flower, quartz.
Was that a hole in the middle of the calcite flower that goes all the way through?
It doesn't.
Okay.
It looks like it does, but it doesn't. Or actually, no, it doesn't. Kind of looks like it does.
Well, don't stick your finger in there. It might get caught.
Rob would kill me.
He'd
Not
just
doing
make you
that.
buy it.
Fluorite ball, and then this is pyrite, fluorite, and quartz.
Yeah, that's an exceptional piece.
It really is.
And that fluoride ball was incredible as
question.
well. Yeah, go ahead, Raquel.
So all of these pieces, do you display who loans them, or do you have, maybe later you can talk us about what's your policy on loaning from who and what kind of information you display about them?
We do. So on the touchscreens, what you'll see is that underneath the specimen is who lends it to us.
Oh, okay.
So the hemimorphite, it's Dr. Robert Levinsky, and most of the pieces in this collection are in this special exhibit. We worked with him on this special exhibit. So. And then we have a variety of other lenders as well. Which, thank you to all of our lenders. We are so incredibly grateful. So I want to make sure that I do that.
Now, Kim, is the lending only open to people in Dallas, or is anyone invited to contact you and potentially loan you pieces?
Anyone is invited to contact me about a potential loan. You know, sometimes we're working on like a special exhibit, like nature's art.
Mm-hmm.
So there's very specific things that we're looking for. But I wouldn't, you know, we're really flexible. So if something really amazing comes out, like for example, the Dragon's Lair Gold,
Right.
you know, and we get contacted about that, then, you know, I'm going to work to make sure that we display it if we can.
Sure.
So there's a lot of flexibility there, and flexibility on like loan, the length of the loan too.
Okay. All right. And do you get like a free T-shirt or notepad or something if you loan a piece to the Perot?
My never-ending gratitude isn't enough.
Oh, well, no, I'm sorry. I didn't know that came with it. I mean, hey, that's good enough for me.
So yeah, this is kind of the end of the Nature's Art exhibit. And we're
Wow.
going to move on to a piece actually completely different. This is from Africa. This is from Namibia, the Orongo Mountains. And it's quartz with fluorite. The green and black, that's fluorite. Yeah, this is like
That sure cleaned up pretty well.
It did. It did. This piece, so the story behind this one is the gentleman who found it in like mud and silica debris, and we actually have a picture of it.
I'm pulling that picture up on my screen right now.
When it was found, he didn't know. I mean, he knew he found something really exceptional in this alien eye pocket, and it gets its name obviously because of the fluorite. But he didn't know what to do with it to keep it safe, so he put it in the back of his white Mercedes Benz and just like drove around with it. So then when the people were looking to find him to potentially buy it, you know, the information they were given was, you got to find the guy with the white Mercedes Benz.
I love it. At least it wasn't a Toyota.
Yeah, and they eventually did find him, but then they had to figure out how to ship it safely. So they got creative and they wrapped it in 400 baby diapers.
Oh my God.
In a plastic drum, a plastic barrel, and then that went into a steel drum to get it safely shipped.
I love it.
Yeah, and then yeah, and this gives you an idea of like how it came out of the ground. And they had to do like I think it took 2 years of cleaning and trimming to get to what we see in the case. So, you know, this can take a long time and a lot of skill, a lot of patience. You know, there's an art to it as well. And even this, like, I love this piece because they actually developed lighting that goes and you can't see it if you're looking at the piece. It's only if you look underneath, you'll see that there's like tiny strips of LED lighting under some of the fluorite, which it's incredible. I love it because then you can really see the, you know, the green and black zoning.
Absolutely. Those pieces require that you have that backlight behind the fluorite so that you can see the unique qualities of those alien eye fluorites.
Yeah, you'll see some of the LED strips, but it's incredible, absolutely incredible. All right. So how are we doing on time?
We got 6 minutes left in the show, but like I said, we're going to go a little late. Why don't you do us kind of a quick run around of some of the other things in the exhibit? Sure. I know that we've got a big thing. Oh, okay. Here's hour 2.
Yeah, seriously. This is the next 10 cases. Actually, 11 cases. You guys have until, I guess for like those in Europe, it's like the middle of the night.
Right, and they're like, oh my God. They're probably all wide awake now. But I mean, the reality is all of these cases are the same quality, the same information, the same beautiful display. It's exceptional.
Yeah.
I love the quartz, the sculpture as well on the upper, above the display cases. Just, yes, on the side. Look at this.
Different crystals, like some from the different systems, like up above.
This is awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Actually, that plays into what we're hoping to do in the fall, which was supposed to be done last May. And I know you guys had Paula Crevichet on, but our hope is that in the fall we're going to be able to finally do an exhibit with her.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so it's going to be her jewelry, but also talking about the different crystal systems. So this, you know, and so each case would be a different system, and then looking at kind of like the mineral, the loose gem, and then the jewelry.
I love it. Yeah, no, Paula is incredible. She was on the show, as you know. I don't remember if it was on this show or on What's Hot in Tucson, where she talked about the upcoming exhibit at the Perot, and we're all excited for that.
Yeah.
Are we doing, is this now by color? I saw black on one of the exhibits.
White, and then we're going to get into the rainbow. So that, yeah.
Rojo. Raquel, that means red.
Good job, Brian. We're getting into orange, acertine, and quartz, smoky quartz.
Okay, but can you say the Spanish word for orange smoothly?
Anaranjado? Anaranjado? I don't know. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. Anaranjado.
Yeah. Raquel's going to laugh at me when I say it wrong, but aranjado.
Naranja. Is
Well,
naranja
yeah,
just
that's the fruit.
The
the fruit?
yeah.
And so anaranjado, the color?
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
That's sweet. So yeah, Kim, anaranjado is more used in South America, but
Okay.
Spanish from Spain, from where I come from, we use naranja. Yeah, like it's
Got it.
orange.
Well, now we know Kim Vagner's password on her computer.
Okay.
Get into some garlic yellow now.
And what is that, a sulfur up at the top on a white matrix?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Sicilian, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Stibiconite. Labradorite.
Oh, that's great. I like the spray of that.
Brucite. Fluorite. That's a
It
Vivianite.
looks like a smiley face on there. Is it just me?
Wait, are you talking about the Vivianite or the fluorite?
Well, no, the Vivianite on the matrix, it looks like a smiley face to me. I don't know, maybe there's peyote in my tea here.
For camera. In person. Yeah.
But that's a huge Vivianite. That's great.
Yeah, I know. That's an amazing Vivianite. That's a malachite.
That is a great piece, and the chatoyancy on this is just out of this world.
Incredible.
It's hard to, it's not showing well on the camera, but trust me, people, you put your eyes on that, you will be, what the?
Exactly. That's the exact reaction to have.
Do you see people moving their heads back and forth like kind of confused velociraptors?
Yes, a lot. That happens.
And you see that at the museum too, right?
Mm-hmm. Another hemimorphite.
Great.
Fluorite. Andesite. Pescite. Aquamarine. Stars. Almost at the end of it. Oh no, we are actually at the end of the rainbow for us.
At the end of the
That's a
rainbow.
tanzanite on the left, by the way. We got tanzanite and sugilite. I mean, yeah, it's crazy tanzanite.
That is wild, because I've never seen it. I mean, you see the three colors when you look down the different axes, but to see one with the blue at the tip like that, that's very odd. That is cool as heck. Is it because the light coming from the bottom, it's hitting kind of some fracture there, and then it's...
I think so. I think
yeah,
that's what's going
so the very tip is being lit from behind, but the part underneath it is being lit from the bottom, so you're actually seeing the color from the C-axis.
It's incredible.
That's great. That's a wonderful, wonderful way to exhibit it. I've never seen it like that before.
Kim, can we ask who is the owner of that tanzanite?
Lyda Hill.
Oh, so most of the specimens you're displaying in this section of the gallery are from Lyda here?
No, this is actually a mix of lenders in this section. We've got the Spans and the Brownlees and the Gibbs. Yeah, this is a mix in this section. So in this case, like the Lyda is the tanzanite, but the sugilite and the amethyst that we're going to show in just a second. I actually love this piece. It's such a cool piece. So it's amethyst that's covered calcite. But if you look down, there's like a hollow tube.
Oh, it's a cast. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, isn't that so cool? So this was led by the Spans, and I think it was part of Rock Courier's collection.
Ah, that is exceptional.
Yeah.
So that was acquired recently during the Courier auction. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Superb.
And then we have the Flora Appetite that's on loan from Rob. So yeah, this is a mix.
Wonderful.
This is the Madonna Rosa. So this is
That's where it is. Okay.
it's with us.
That was sold at the Heritage Hoppel auction, and that was quite an incredible thing because there was a bidding war going on live on the floor, and I actually filmed that, and it was an incredible experience. I mean, talk about everybody just laughing and having a great time because there were, I mean, just bids were going left, right, left, right. It was constantly going up, and you heard people sighing. It was an exceptional piece, fantastic piece.
Yeah, it is. It's an incredible piece. And then this is our birthstone, our rough and cut case. So this looks at, it's divided by a month into the birthstones, and then you've got the rough and the cut.
Where's Opal?
That's up at the top.
Yeah! We're at the top. Go October.
Yeah. So we like having this display because it really helps visitors to understand the difference between a gem and a mineral, or helping them get to that point of understanding the difference between gems and minerals.
Nice. Well, I think it actually serves two purposes. It helps them understand the differences and how they're related, but it also ties into everybody. Everyone understands birthstones, and there's certain people in the mineral world who kind of scoff a little bit at birthstones, but the reality is that's a way for people to connect to both the gems and the minerals, because just like I did, they try to figure out, well, where's my birthstone? Then they focus in on the month and they look at the rough and cut, and then they start getting the idea. So it's one way to pull more people into the gem and mineral world. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, we love it. I mean, it's personal. So everybody has got a birthstone. So it's a great way of kind of introducing people in. And you're like, okay, now we can talk a little bit more about this. So I love it. I love having it. All right. So I think what we'll do is we'll finish up. This is our grape jelly geode, which is obviously amethyst. It's got some calcite crystals in there too. But the fun thing about this piece is that it's on a wheel, so it opens and closes. So as you can imagine, kids love it. Actually, adults. People get married in this.
Really? And do they have someone in the background, like, you know, before they take the vows, it's closed, and right after they take the vows, they're spinning that wheel like crazy so that it comes open?
So I've been talking about how everything that you see on display in here is on loan to us. This is the one piece that we own. Right now. Which makes sense because it was brought in while the museum was still being built. Like the floors above us weren't even finished when this was brought and put on display. And last year, the mechanics that make the wheel open and close broke. So what ended up happening is we had to figure out how to fix it. And obviously that wasn't an easy task because to get to those mechanisms, those pieces, you have like 2,700 pounds of weight on top of it. So it became a huge project to figure out how to fix this. And in the end, it was, okay, the geode has to come out. So we took the acrylic out. We had to like remove the facade. And then we had to bring in a forklift with a crane to lift the both of the pieces out so that they can then work on fixing the problem.
And Kim, I'm running a video of the actual extraction of the piece as it was coming out.
Yeah. It was really amazing to watch, but also it was just really funny because a lot of people at the museum are like, are you nervous? Aren't you nervous by this? And I was like, no, that thing's a tank. Like, there's no way we're going to damage this thing. It's fine. I'm like, you know what I'm really nervous about? Moving the stolasite, the snowball.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Well, now, when you first come into the hall, just off to the left there, almost directly to the left when you come in, you see this. And it's such a huge exhibit, and the fact that it's so interactive, I've seen, 3 to 4 people deep just queued up waiting for their chance to spin the wheel, if you will.
Exactly. Or there are like 4 people on it, like, pulling both directions. Right. I get to do this. So, yeah. I love this piece.
And as people can see, there are even more exhibits off to the left there, but we're really kind of coming to the end of our time here with you, Kim. So thank you. We're going to jump right now to our 5 quick questions segment. So, Kim, you know how this works. You've seen the show. I've got 5 questions I'm going to ask you, and there are 2 answers to each question. All of your answers are correct, and the audience has already guessed what you might answer. So now they're trying to, we're going to see whether the audience was correct or incorrect. So, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Question number 1, rock hunting or mineral shows? Ooh.
That's a tough one.
Yes, I didn't say these were easy questions.
Because, I would love to say rock hunting, but the reality is probably mineral shows.
So mineral shows.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. Question number 2. Favorite green mineral, emerald or savorite?
Savorite.
Savorite. There was no even hesitation there. You knew right away what you were going to choose.
I worked for the savorite factory. I've got to give love to the savorite.
Totally. I get it. That's why the question was on there. Question number 3. Bohemian best road trip sing-along music. Bohemian Rhapsody or Manic Monday?
Manic Monday.
Manic Monday. Go Bengals. Oh yeah. 80s rocks.
That's the way to go.
Question number 4. Earrings or rings?
Probably earrings, just because I tend to speak a lot with my hands, so I feel like I'm always damaging rings. Like, I love them. I love rings, but then I end up crashing them into things. So.
Fair enough. Earrings it is. Question number 5, and this is the final question. Hair color, pink or blue?
Pink.
No hesitation there.
No pink still left.
Just a touch. All right, let's go to the audience and see what they said. Eloise, are you ready with the answers?
I am.
Okay. Question number 1, rock hunting or mineral shows? Kim answered mineral shows.
Yes, I guess that the public know Kim and they have seen her at mineral shows because they answered mineral shows mostly, yeah.
Woo! Bing, 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 bing. Cool. Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
But that's where people see you most, at mineral shows.
Exactly.
Okay, question number 2. Favorite green mineral, emerald or savorite? Kim answered savorite. What did our guests say, our viewers?
It was a 51.49%, and they answered wrong. They answered emerald. But the green of tsavorite is so much better. I agree with you, Kim.
Uh-oh, watch out. Raquel is, she's gnashing her teeth right now.
Here, right?
Yeah, we have Raquel against us.
Any day, though. Tsavorite,
Yeah.
any day.
Tsavorite's any day. Okay, question number 3. This is a real critical question. Best road trip sing-along song, Bohemian Rhapsody or Manic Monday? Kim answered Manic Monday.
The audience answered wrong. Bohemian Rhapsody. I think we'll have to prove them why they're wrong at some point.
This is why they're wrong. That is Kim rocking out in the back seat. Manic Monday. It's always a Manic Monday. Okay.
Or at least like at the karaoke place all the time.
Totally. That peyote and the karaoke again. You got to watch that. Okay, question number 4. Earrings or rings? Kim answered earrings. What did our audience say?
Wrong. They answered rings. But yes, it's not easy when you handle specimen to have rings on you. It's much easier to have earrings. So agreed with you again, Kim. And people are wrong. Come on, look at her. Look at what she's wearing.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay,
Yeah.
final question. Hair color, pink or blue? Kim answered pink. What did our guests say?
I think that people might have seen her pink hair color recently. Yes, pink indeed.
Pink indeed.
I love it when you're pink, Kim. Continue doing it. It's awesome.
It just comes out so quick.
No, it doesn't look. It doesn't look pink anymore.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's 2 out of 5 questions that our audience got correctly. That's too bad because that is a minority. Had we gotten 5 out of 5, then everyone watching would have gotten a free 1-year membership to the Perot Museum. So sorry. Next time, study the bio a little bit more. Surprise, Kim, you didn't know that, right? Hey, let's go to the Q&A. Raquel, do we have any questions from our viewers to ask Kim?
We have answering some of them that were coming through the chat, but there is one from Steve Maslansky. Who vets the potential loans? Is there a committee?
I'm sorry, say that again. I couldn't hear you.
Who vets the potential loans? And if is there a committee?
Okay. No, it's me. It is all me.
That's the boss right there.
I am the one, the only.
So Kim, give everyone the address where they could send gifts to you.
Not allowed, not allowed, not allowed.
Above the table.
Not even going there.
So keep along those lines. What are more or less your criteria? It seems to me, incredible aesthetic pieces. That's for sure very unique. Do you have any in terms like we know Paola with jewelry? Do you also have a size, or you go by themes? Tell us a little bit. What is the Perot Museum kind of looking forward on your loan program?
It's really hard to answer that and say, because we're I would say I'm very flexible, for, as I was saying, with the special exhibits like the Paula exhibit and the Nature's Art exhibit, these are themed exhibits. So we're looking for very specific material and specimens and pieces to go into those exhibits. But if something really incredible comes along, for example, like the Dragon's Lair Gold, that's one piece. And that I take, when it comes in, I review it and go, okay, does this make sense? Does this fit within our gallery? Does it fit within, what we're trying to accomplish here? And do we have the space for it too? Because I would love to say that we could take everything, but, we actually only have 37 cases. So we are limited to the amount of space we have. Although I'm hopeful that I can take over the rest of the floor one day. I keep talking to my bosses about that and be like, if you ever wanted to expand, I could take over some of this other space. So, I know that's a little bit difficult, but it's not like a very succinct answer, but it really is the reality of it.
Yeah.
That, it just depends. It really depends.
And there is another question about, we know you're mainly focused on lone specimens, but you have some collections, you have some material in collections.
We do.
Are you looking forward to expand that collection, make it, some of those specimens permanent into your collection, or that's not a model that the Perot Museum is
That's
interested?
not what we're doing right now. What we're focused on right now is the loan model. Could that change in the future? Everything changes. So yeah, maybe one day down the line, that might be a reality. But I will say that what we're focused on right now is this loan model. So, but if someone wants to donate something to us, awesome. Not gonna say that.
Thank you. I don't know, Eloise, if you have any other.
Yes, I had another question. We saw a very small part of the museum, right? That's what you were saying. We saw a very small part of the museum. How big is the museum? Because you have so many different floors and it's so big, and we don't really understand how big this museum is. Maybe we can see a bit outside of this area, just to look at the Dynamics Earth display as well, just overlooking it.
So we have 6 floors. Our top floor are museum offices. So, 5 floors of exhibit space. And the top floor, here, we'll walk this way just to give you kind of a sense of at least like what the floor size is. But the other floors we have, upstairs is dinosaurs. So paleontology is the 4th floor. Then this floor is gems and minerals. It's geology and energy. And then below, the 2nd floor is being human, as well as engineering. 1st floor is really just like entering into our theater and getting tickets and things like that. And then the bottom floor is our special exhibit space. So that's where we have like the big like traveling exhibits. So right now there's like a Guinness Book of World Records special exhibit going on downstairs. And then it's also a sports hall as well as a children's museum space. So just to give you guys.
We really can't realize it. You have to go there and see the beautiful museums. The only way.
And Kim, all the other exhibits are relatively interactive, just like the mineral exhibit is, correct?
Yeah, I would say even more so. The rest of the museum is very, very interactive. So our main age group would be kids.
Yeah.
Like when you're here, there are tons of children running around, and it's very, very interactive. So that's very true.
Is that an earthquake happening in Dallas there?
That's actually our freight elevator.
Oh, that's the freight elevator. I thought it was the earthquake exhibit behind you.
Some of my fellow colleagues at the museum. It's okay, you can go by. We're obviously closed today because we're not open today. We were open the last 2 weeks for spring break, but now we're back to a Thursday through Sunday schedule until Memorial Day weekend. So right now, since we're closed, this is giving us opportunities to kind of work and fix little things that are broken here and there.
Great.
So, yeah.
Now, Kim, you had mentioned the Paula Crevichet exhibit coming to the Gem and Mineral Hall. Is there any other exhibit that you're planning for the future that you can talk about?
Goodness. I'm not sure if it makes sense to talk about it right now because there's so much that has to happen with these other exhibits. So maybe not quite ready to share about that yet.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Once it's all, for sure gonna happen, we will advertise.
Fantastic. Look forward to it. Well, Kim, thank you so much for your time. What an incredible episode this was. Thank you for that walk through the Gem and Mineral Hall. And again, the cases that you shared, that wasn't even all the cases there. You have, maybe another 12 to
Exactly. There was a whole another like 10 cases that
Yeah.
we didn't even get to see. So everybody's got to come and visit
Absolutely.
Dallas.
Absolutely. It is a trip well worth making. So thank you to all our viewers out there. Tune in tomorrow to Blue Cat Productions YouTube channel. We're going to be airing episode 37 of Mineral Talks Live. That was our interview with Dr. Bruce Cairncross, who is the professor of geology in University of Johannesburg in South Africa. That was an amazing episode with a little impromptu music playing at the end. So that originally aired on March 3rd. That will be released tomorrow. And from all of us here at Mineral Talks Live, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week. Take care. Thank you, Kim.
Thanks.
Thank you, Kim. Thank all of you.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you to all our lenders.
Ciao.
Bye.
So long. I want to close with more of the Manic Monday dancing in the car.
Oh, yeah. Just another manic Monday.
Another Manic Monday. Kim, you were awesome. Thanks for being such a great sport. This is going to get flagged by YouTube so badly. We might have to edit this part out.
Oh my God. But you really do rock it.
Oh, we totally rocked it. And for those who don't know, that's Kate Donovan in the passenger seat there.
Yeah.
This was on our way from the Munich show. We were visiting some other friends.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I love Kim's hand gestures in the back there. Woo, woo, jazz hands.
Manic Monday.